Hello everyone, here is another video for Sir Philip Sidney's A Defense of Poesy and Poems. You may have already seen the other video which focused mainly on analyzing the title of Sir Sidney's work, but now we are going to work on analyzing one of the body paragraphs of his text. Let us remember our journalism questions: who, when, where, what, how, and why. As we begin to analyze the text, let's keep these journalism questions in mind. Let's take the first one, who. Take a few minutes now to pause this video and read the text that's on your screen. Okay, good. Focusing on the question of who are the people mentioned in this paragraph? There are 4 people either directly or indirectly mentioned in this paragraph. The first person is Edward Wotton. I am mentioned second, and this I refers to the author, Philip Sidney himself. The next person is Pugliano. These are the 3 people who are mentioned directly, but there is someone who is indirectly mentioned, the emperor. Now, if you are not sure what country Sir Sidney is referring to or which emperor, now is a good time to do a little outside research, and the question you'll ask yourself is, who was the emperor Sir Sidney mentions, and where is his court? Now, without doing any research, there may be some clues in the text itself that will tell me where this text is set. For example, Italy is mentioned, so the text may be set in Italy. But I would use caution in making that assumption because when Italy is mentioned, it is mentioned in reference to a particular person of the text, Pugliano. Perhaps he is Italian even if the text is not set in Italy. I would need to keep reading, looking for clues as to the setting. Now, to answer the question what, let's take a look at Pugliano. The text mentions here what Pugliano's vocation is, the position of an esquire in the emperor's stable. So what is Pugliano? He is an esquire in the emperor's stable. One of the questions is also when. When is the text written and when is it set? We know the publication date of the text, but that does not necessarily mean that is when the text is set. This text could be set in the past, present, or the future. I would need to keep reading the text looking for clues as to what year or years the events of the text take place. Now, the next 2 questions are in some ways the most important: how and why. What we are curious about the most is what the text means. What is Sir Sidney trying to convey to his audience, and how is he accomplishing that? Notice here that the short excerpt focuses mainly on Pugliano. You can take a few minutes here to pause your screen to read this text very carefully. Once his name is mentioned, the rest of the paragraph is an example of a description of Pugliano. We've already learned that he is an esquire in the emperor's stable, and we also know that he is Italian. He says that Pugliano will demonstrate his abilities, but he also wants for his viewers to think about what he has done. The phrase fertileness of the Italian wit and which he thought most precious lead me to believe Sir Sidney might be employing sarcasm for Pugliano. This might be a good time to pause the video and look up what sarcasm means using a website like dictionary.com. Does he really think as highly of Pugliano as his words, taken only at face value, might hint? The paragraph ends with the narrator mentioning that Pugliano will often speak on his own abilities under 2 conditions: that he has not been paid quickly enough and that he has a captive audience. Under these 2 conditions, Pugliano will praise his faculty. Does this mean that Pugliano will praise his teaching staff? Let's take another look at the definitions of the word faculty. Faculty does mean the teaching staff of the university or college, but it also means mental or physical power. So Sir Sidney is actually saying that Pugliano will speak on his own abilities in an attempt to enrich the minds of others, something he thinks is most precious. Thank you so much for watching this video, and keep reading using your close reading skills and your marginal notes.